Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it.
Welcome back, Mother Cuppers. Woo! 10 weeks of fantasy football is in the books. We have 4 weeks left, and the playoff picture is starting to take shape. We're going to get into a little bit of that here in just a bit. But first, I want to talk about last week and how we did with the pre-cup picks. Anthony didn't turn in any picks. He was a little butthurt from some trades that ultimately cost him the week, and who could blame him? I get it, man. You've gotten the shaft a few weeks in a row, but Logan and I made some picks. Logan did better than I did. He went 5-1, and I went 4-2. And the one we both got wrong was Nate. He pulled off the upset over Zach, 165.02 to 156.86. Andrew took care of Chris, 138.52 to 105.84. Seth smashed Derek in the blowout of the week. It's like 49 points, 131.44 to 82.26. Nick Manarino proved he was the better Manarino over his brother, Anthony. 137.68 to 134.1. Oh, ouch. Greg got the best of me. He beat me 158.22 to 118.46. And Logan beat the brakes off of Paul, 141.88 to 97.78. So, I guess that was the recap. so that's the recap. And here are the standings so far. Logan leading the way at 9-1. Seth and Derek close behind at 7-3. Paul and Nate are both sitting at 6-4. And Chris is at 5-5. Playoffs end today, they're all in. Or if the season ended today, they're all in the playoffs. Now, we got some bubble teams. Zach, Anthony, and Greg are all sitting 4-6. Andrew and Nick Manarino are 3-7, and I am 2-8. That's me. Dead inside. Ugh. However, according to ESPN, I have a 1% chance of making the playoffs.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about it. But that was it. That was the standings. That's where we're sitting. So I want to get into the Valley Trader because we had a few this week. So let's cue the music.
No, boys, cue the music. Talk about trades.
Okay, so the first one I saw was between Andrew and Chris. Andrew got Sam Laporta, Saquon Barkley, DJ Moore, and the Chargers defense. And Chris received Austin Eckler, T. Higgins, and the 49ers defense. So Chris gets the better end of the defenses. I think he gets the better end of the running backs. But he gave up Sam Laporta. That's been his bread and butter. And he got T. Higgins back, who no longer has Joe Burrow throwing in the ball. I'll get into that a little bit later. I'm going to give the win on this trade to Andrew. But it is close. Derek and Paul were the next trade. Derek got Deebo Samuel, and he gave up Josh Downs, Dalton Schultz, and the Cowboys defense. A 1 for 3. Derek still has the Browns defense. Pretty solid. He gets an upgrade at receiver. Maybe Josh Downs kind of coming to his own, so we'll see how that all plays out. I'm going to give the win on this one to Paul because he got his defense he so desperately needed there. And the last trade I saw was Anthony and Chris Manarino. So Anthony's getting Tank Dell and Pat Fryermuth, and Chris is getting Christian Kirk and Cole Kmet. I don't really care. This seems pretty even. Just kind of swapping positions here. So good for you. Tank Dell, big play potential. Cole Kmet, been pretty solid, and Steelers haven't gotten Freiermuth the ball really all season, but a lot of people like him, so we'll see how it goes. It's a whatever kind of trade for me, though. So there's that. Now, that's the end of the Valley Trader. We are going to get into the matchups right after we hear what the Lizard has to say. Lizard!
Drinking out of cups, being a bitch.
Okay, so let's get it started with a couple guys who haven't had anybody play yet. Thursday game's in the books. We'll talk about that, but these guys, they haven't had anybody go yet. It's Zach. It's Seth. It's Long Hard Dex against Purdy's posse. Zach has the double stack engaged. CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks are his receivers this week to go along with Dak Prescott. They're going up against Carolina. I love it. I think it's a great play. His running backs here, I mean, they're fine. Aaron Jones probably going to have a decent day against the Chargers. Jerome Ford, man. Pittsburgh wasn't an easy draw anyway, and now you don't have your quarterback anymore. That's going to be tricky. I don't love Jerome Ford this week. And Latavius Murray against the Jets, he's got to be praying that he just falls into the end zone at some point. I do like Evan Ingram. I think he's going to have a decent day here. And the Lions defense against Chicago, we'll see what Justin Fields shows up. On Seth's side, I think he's got great flex. I like James Conner there. David Montgomery's back, and they want to run the ball. But Chicago's defense is a better run defense than advertised. They've been a lot better over the last few weeks. So we'll see how that goes. I do like DK Metcalf against the Rams. Think he's going to have a great day. But Amari Cooper, kind of the same deal with Jerome Ford, but like even more so. Who's throwing in the ball? Not Deshaun. And Deshaun loved Cooper. And Cooper loved Deshaun. We think. They were productive together, so that's great. Purdy's going to have a decent day against Tampa Bay, I would assume. And Brees Hall should do fine against Buffalo. I think I'm leaning Seth on this one. Yeah, I think he's going to have a good game. Anthony agrees. Anthony has given me his picks, and he agrees that Seth will take this one home. So the next one we are going to do is Nate and Chris. It is Yo Soy Fiesta up against the Stroud Boys. So Nate is sticking with Dobbs, and why wouldn't he? He's been on fire. NBA Jam rules state stick with Dobbs. And his running backs are solid. Robinson isn't going to have Gibson, it looks like, this week, so he should get the majority of the work like he usually does, but like even more so. And Christian McCaffrey is always a great play. Not crazy about the receivers on Nate's side. Tyler Boyd's already played and only put up 5.2. Adam Thielen against Dallas, can't love that. And Jalen Waddle against Las Vegas, well, that one actually might be pretty good. Hawkinson, he's been great. He's been a star player for Nate all season long. And the Vikings defense, I think, will be okay against Denver. On Chris's side, he is rolling with Stroud. And why wouldn't you? The guy's been on fire. NBA Jam rules state, stick with Stroud. So both these guys, who would have thought they would have been the quarterbacks leading them into the playoff push? But here we are. Chris got Eckler. You got to love that. I bet you he gets a lot of work in Green Bay. And the wide receivers he's playing are great. Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk. And if Justin Jefferson is back, you got to love those three making the playoff push for you. And he's also got the 49ers defense. That's a solid play. So that one's that. I think it's close, but I'm going to give it to Chris. Anthony will also be giving it to Chris. Next, we have Derek taking on Greg. It's the guys. It's the Chicken Brothers. And Derek has his lineup back together. I don't think he has any buys this week. So he's starting a full strength team here. You got to love the Tua and Tyreek stack. Kelsey's going to be great, and the Browns have no choice. They have to be great because their offense is going to be whack. I look for the Browns to have a real solid day. Maybe even help him win this week, even though he doesn't have his beloved Cowboys anymore. Browns defense is very nice to have. Greg also has a pretty solid stack. A stack that destroyed me last week. The two of them combined for like 70 points. It's Herbert. It's Allen. Gotta love it. I love Devontae Adams as well, but they are playing Miami, and I think they're getting some secondary help back in Miami. But that O'Connell guy, he just loves peppering Devontae. So probably get plenty of targets, and I'm sure he'll do something with them. The running backs, though, I do not love the running backs this week. Jacksonville's a tough draw for Derrick Henry, and Rashad White's going up against San Francisco. Can't love it. Gus Edwards, though, has already gotten him 21 points in the flex. Great. Your Thursday players, they got to go in your normal lineup. They can't be your flex, so you have some flexibility. It's all right, though. 21 points, you ain't going to be mad at it. Good for you. I'm going to give this one to Derek, though. Getting his full squad back is real helpful. So I think Derek takes this one down. Mainly on his running backs. ETN. Man, what a guy. All right. Next, we have Anthony and Paul. So, it's always TDs in Philadelphia. Going up against Buffalo Soldiers 3.0. Anthony already had a couple guys go in this game. He had Justin Tucker. Tucker got him 11 points. Can't ask for much more than that out of a kicker. And he also had Jamar Chase. He's a very good player, very talented. This very talented player scored 9.2. Why? Because his quarterback left in the first half of the game. So, yikes. But Anthony's squad looks solid. And Paul's squad looks solid as well. You love these stacks. Anthony has Hurts and A.J. Brown. Paul's got Allen and Stephon Diggs. Wow. These are premier stacks going up against each other. You love to see it. The running backs aren't terrible in this. I don't love their matchups, really. Like Najee Harris against Cleveland for Paul and DeAndre Swift against Kansas City for Paul. You don't love those matchups for running backs. Anthony's side, James Cook, you don't love him anyway because they don't ever give him the ball. But he's going up against the Jets, and that's a tough run defense anyhow. Ken Walker up against the Rams. We'll see how that goes. I think he could be fine. He didn't do great against them earlier in the season, but maybe he learned a couple things along the way. I think he'll have an okay game. Love both tight ends here. We have Dalton Kincaid on Anthony's side. Paul's got to hate that, but he's rocking old Dalton Schultz. Are they both Daltons? We got two Daltons? Wow. Two Daltons. It's a Dalton Bowl. Cowboys on Paul's side. Jaguars on Anthony's side against Tennessee. I like that too. I'm going to give it to Anthony. And I think it's all going to happen Monday night. That's when he'll make his hay for sure. Poor Paul. Just got to watch as Swift tries to hold off Hurts and A.J. Brown. Can't love that. But I think that's going to be a fun matchup to watch anyway. Super Bowl rematch. Should be a great Monday night game. I think Ant's losing streak will end. All right, next. Oh, man. We got a couple losers. They haven't lost as much as me, but they are still losers. It's Andrew. It's Nick Manarino. And this is the Toilet Bowl. Fitting enough, Andrew has named his team the Laporta Potties. And they're taking on Do You Believe in Jamiracles? A-plus names this week, guys, for sure. Let's see here. Andrew has already gotten a pretty solid game out of Lamar Jackson, putting up almost 28 points. Great running backs here. You love Devin Singletary against the Cardinals, and Saquon against Washington should have a pretty solid day as well. Not real crazy about these receivers. They're hit or miss. I mean, DJ Moore could go bananas, have a 200-yard game and 2 touchdowns, or he could get 4 catches for 30 yards and call it a day. Gabe Davis, the ultimate boomer bust player, and Calvin Ridley, he's just been inconsistent most of the season. So don't love the receivers there. Do love Sam Laporta. He's probably going to be pretty solid in Chicago. Nick, poor Nick. On the play that Joe Mixon got his touchdown, helping him to get to 21 points on the week, he lost Joe Burrow. More specifically, he lost Joe Burrow's thumb. He just can't hold the ball anymore. Tore a ligament. He's out for the season. Unfortunate for Nick because he just made that trade. Nick used to have Patrick Mahomes. And he used to have Kyler Murray. They're gone. That ship has sailed. So now he's got to hit the waiver wire, try to find somebody. I'm sure he'll figure it out. The rest of this team's pretty solid. Garrett Wilson, though, looks like he's a little questionable. Achane, also a little questionable coming off IR. We'll see how that goes. Broncos defense has been looking good lately. I think Terry McLaurin's going to have a big game against the Giants. I'm going to give it to Andrew. Yeah, I'll give it to Andrew. Anthony went with Nick Manarino. So we'll see how it goes, but I think Andrew gets the dub this week. And let's see here. There's one more matchup. It's Logan. It's me. It's the Kelchner Bowl. We got 4 Grubby taking on 4 Grubby. There's a better than average chance that 4 Grubby will be immortalized on 2 trophies. One, the championship trophy for the DOC, the Immortal Cup that we all covet so much. The other, that monstrosity that Zach picked up, the toilet topper or whatever that thing is, the Yo Dog, Your Team Sucks trophy. Yeah, 4 Grubby could be on that one as well. Brutal. Logan's got... Well, we both really have a little bit of a bye-week shuffle going on. We don't have our running backs, at all. So, that sucks. But Logan gets to watch Patrick Mahomes for the first time in his lineup on Monday night. He's got to love that. His receivers are great. Amon-Ra, Nuke, gotta love it. Jacoby Myers, kind of a hit or miss guy. We'll see how it goes. Started off hot and then kind of came back to earth a little bit. But I do like his wide receivers. The big news here, though, is Logan lost Mark Andrews. Dude, fractured his fibula, messed up a ligament in his ankle. He's done for the year. He's not going to have him. On my side, who cares? Who cares? It's the number 1 team in the league going up against the last place team in the league. I got some players. Some of them are going to put up a whole bunch of points, like a bunch. And we're going to be like, hell yeah, Nick's team looks good. And then the other guys are going to put up hardly any points. And it's just going to keep my score low. And I'll probably be in a position where I'm winning going into Monday night, just so I can deal with the torment of watching Patrick Mahomes throw all over the yard and ruin my week on a Monday. That's how it's going to go. More than likely. But that's not the way I pick my matchups. No. That's not what I do. I pick me. You can't let a losing mentality get in here. I'm going with me. I'm going to win this week. Anthony's going with Logan. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that was I think that was the whole week. Yep, that's all of them. So, hope you enjoyed that. And let's see what I said.
Oh yeah, did I mention I was all by myself? All by myself. All by myself. All by myself.
All right, guys. So that was it. That's all I have to say about this week. I wish you nothing but the best of luck this week, Mother Cuppers. I want you to stay safe out there, but I also want to put this little thing out here for you all to watch. I think it's important that we remember our fallen heroes. Have a great week.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep through my veins. Let me be empty. I'm weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You were pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort.